Hello, and welcome to Spotlight MC. I'm Carissa Mandrakia, and I'm here with Joe McGurman to talk about the winter safety. Now, Joe, we are hearing that it's going to be a very severe winter this year. Can you tell me, what students can do to prevent any kind of accidents or anything like that?
Sure. Well, one thing students can do is always be prepared in advance of a snowstorm. So one of the really important things is to know your vehicle, know that your vehicle has been properly maintained, maybe get to the mechanic during the fall when the weather is still nice, and don't wait until the first winter storm hits. And we know that it's going to come, and we're not sure exactly when. So getting to the mechanic, having the mechanic look at your car battery, because that's an important thing, your tires, because they're very important to keeping a grip on the road, the fact that you have windshield washer fluid in your reservoir is really important. What we find is that a car battery in the cold weather will need more charge than it needs during the summertime. And many car batteries fail when you go to get in the car first thing in the morning on a very cold day. You don't want to be left on campus with a dead car battery. And you want to make sure that your tires are good enough to make it through the storm to get you to school if you have to get here.
Okay. Now, how do students know if their tires are good enough? Is there a way that they can check that?
Well, there is a way that students can, people can check their own tires. You look for your wear on the tire. You're going to use a penny to do it. There's internet information regarding that. My suggestion would be, though, that everyone who is not really into their cars and really mechanical with their vehicles, take the car to an auto mechanic to make sure that the car is ready to go for the winter.
Okay, yeah, so basically someone like me who knows nothing about it, I should just be like, mechanic, here's my car, there you go.
Listen, if your dad or someone else can help you with it, that's fine, but usually it's a smart thing to get it in, make sure that the oil is where it's supposed to be, the reservoirs are filled up, the battery is a good battery. It could be 4 or 5 years old, and this might be the last winter the battery works. And then obviously the tires are really important for safety.
Okay, so tires are key. Good.
Key.
We're going to remember that.
Very
okay. So with the driving, let's say students actually don't have class. How do they check if they don't have class, just so that way, they don't even have to get into their car?
So a really important thing is that every student, staff member, faculty member sign up for our E2 campus, our emergency text messaging service. And you can go onto our website at www.mc3.edu under the text messaging banner and sign up for emergency text messaging. Give them the cell phone number, give them your email address so that you have the information as the information is released from the college, and you will know whether at 5:30 in the morning you have to get out of bed to go to class. We do our best to make decisions ahead of the storm or as the storm is approaching, but those decisions have to be made by a number of administrators, including the president, myself in campus safety, the facilities director, and we do our best to give you advanced knowledge, advanced information regarding that. But E2 Campus will get you a text message and an email regarding whether classes are being held. We also broadcast we speak to the local radio and TV stations, and we let them know whether we're opening 2 hours late or we're opening at 10 a.m. And we also have a Facebook and Twitter feed that will provide information. So there are a lot of different ways for students to get the information in advance. The best way is through the text messaging service.
Okay. Now, what if students take the shuttle? Do they get an alert for that as well? How does that all work?
So there is also a shuttle alert. If school is closed for the day, if we decide at 5:30 a.m. to close for the day, the shuttle will not run. However, if we are already in session and the shuttle has been running, the shuttle will make at least one final trip to the previous destination, because we will have students at the central campus who need to get to the west campus and vice versa. So the shuttle will run. And there is a specific shuttle text messaging service, so that if the shuttle company calls us and tells us they're going to be late, students can receive those text messages separately from the rest of the college community.
All right, cool. So tell me a little bit more about winter safety. Besides driving, what else should we be prepared for? Is there any other kind of precautions that we should take?
Well, sure. There are a lot of precautions you can take, and I would say in our 10-minute talk, we're probably not going to get through those things. So I would always suggest go to the AAA website and look up driver safety, winter safety, because there's great articles there that talk about all the things you need to do. But just as in your everyday student life, you are preparing for classes and you're preparing to go to work and you're preparing for other things, you really need to prepare in advance for the winter. In your car, if you have a car, in your car you should have some extra jackets, maybe a blanket, maybe some type of salt or calcium product to help you if you happen to be stuck. A small shovel is always a good idea. Jumper cables, just in case that battery does decide to die midday. Those things are important. Learning to drive in winter weather is not an easy thing, and in a lot of cases it takes the experience of doing it. So remember, there's going to be a lot of people out on the road that have a difficult time in winter weather. Even if you're an expert, that doesn't mean that when you enter an intersection, the person that's coming across the intersection has the same level of skill and ability that you do. So you have to be concerned with what other drivers are doing also. It's always important, and in today's age of social media and cell phones, it's pretty easy to stay in contact with family members or friends. When you're leaving on a short trip, a 20-minute trip to school, there's nothing wrong with letting a parent, a family member, a friend know, hey, I'm leaving the house now. I expect to be at school, in a half hour. If you don't hear from me, please get back to me. It's good to know that other people are aware that you happen to be on the road, and that way you can make sure that you're taking care of others and they're taking care of you.
Oh, of course, yep.
The other thing is a short trip may turn into a very bad trip, right? You may be on your way home from school after we closed the campus early and in a lot of traffic. You may have an accident and need to be able to get in touch with other people. You may need a blanket or clothing to make sure that you're warm. I know a lot of young people think to themselves, well, I'm leaving the house, I'm getting in my car, and then I'm going to be in a college building, so I don't really have to have clothing for a winter trip. But that short trip to college can turn out to be something that you didn't expect, and it's always good to be prepared.
So basically, scarves besides the blanket, scarves,
gloves,
and hats, and gloves.
Gloves,
all that
right.
fun stuff. So
Extremities get cold very quickly.
Yeah, so when mom tells you put on that jacket, you put on that jacket pretty much.
We know that the guys who are walking out in their shorts are not going to put on the jacket, but at least have the jacket in the car.
Just in case. So even though you have those shorts on, even though it might not be a good idea, wear that jacket.
That's
okay,
correct. Yeah.
Cool. So what else can you tell me about the winter safety besides clothing, besides driving? Shoes. Shoes is obviously something that we need in the winter.
So whether you're walking on campus or you're walking in your own neighborhood, falls are the type of hazards that occur regularly with students, staff, and faculty. And the older you are, sometimes the more difficult it is to maintain your balance. So It's good to wear, like a work boot or some type of boot that has some type of tread on it, because tread is really important when we're talking about icy walkways and walkways that may be somewhat snow covered. At the college, we have a great facilities department that will do everything they can to shovel completely and to remove all the snow. Then they'll salt, but overnight you have a thaw and a freeze, and then you get new ice. So there's a lot of black ice. You have to be familiar with it. It's good not to be wearing, for women, not to be wearing high heels, and for guys, generally sneakers aren't really good in the snow. But a pair of boots with a good tread on them, in either case, is probably the best way for you to get through. Also, be aware of surroundings. It's important to be aware of what's in front of you and have some awareness of your surroundings.
Okay.
So those are important things too.
Right. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Joe. Everyone, Joe McGurman, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, Carissa.
All right, you're welcome. Thank you. And that was everything today for Spotlight MC. I'm Carissa Mandrakia. See you next time.